Hello, sports fans, and welcome to another edition of Week 2 of Scott Sports 101 NFL Football Sunday. As you can see, I am not in my usual set today. I am at the Murphy House, the home of my really good friends, Matt and Katie Murphy, and my special guest today is none other than one of my really good friends, is one of my best friends, Matt Murphy, and we're gonna go all of today's NFL action. That includes today's Browns game. But before we do that, here is today's Scott Sports 101 NFL Football Sunday trivia question. It is a Browns one, and it should be relatively easy. And which Browns player was voted to the Pro Bowl every year that he played? And I'll have the answer later on the broadcast. After a 21-21 opening day tie with the Pittsburgh Steelers in Week 1, the Browns will take on the New Orleans Saints today at Mercedes-Benz Stadium, Superdome in New Orleans. Tyrod Taylor will start today at quarterback. And I feel that they should not put in Baker Mayfield because they need to develop him. And I do feel that he needs to learn from all the other quarterbacks and also the quarterback coach and Hugh Jackson. And I feel they will start him later in the season. I really do feel that way. I really felt Tyrod Taylor had a rough week last week. He was 15 for 39. What was going through your mind last week with the 21-21 tie last week?
A lot of things to kind of ponder from week 1, but one, of course, were the conditions, right?
Yes.
Quarterback. Tyrod threw the ball a bit more than I think he has before. You could tell he wasn't as conservative. But I just don't think he's got chemistry with wide receivers yet. And at the end of the day, I think throughout the year you're going to see some really good things from Tyrod, but then, it's all going to average out. I think he's a decent quarterback, but not a great one.
I can agree with you on that.
I agree with you about Baker, but I think definitely with the beginning of the schedule this year, you had Pittsburgh and they're in New Orleans. I think as the season wears on, if Tyrod doesn't lead the offense, I think you're going to see Baker towards the end of the year, maybe even sooner. But today's going to be a tough one, Scott.
Yeah, it is going to be a tough game. And they are heavy underdogs. Yeah.
They are heavy underdogs. But.
And the thing is that they need to keep the ball away from Drew Brees. They've got to set up a strategy. The offense really needs to step it up from last week.
Yeah, they got to run the ball, right?
Yeah, they've got to run the ball.
Time off the clock.
Yes, take time off the clock and just keep Drew Brees on the ground. Keep the ball away from him. Find ways to score. Find ways to score. That's what you got to do. And
you got to outscore this team.
Yes, you really do. Because if you give Drew Brees the ball, he's going to be all over the.
Right.
He's going to be, and that defense is going to shine. Because New Orleans, they have got a really tough defense and a tough offense.
Didn't show it last week, but that's why they're going to come out today.
You're right about that. You are definitely right about that. Two of the Browns starters, linebacker Christian Kirksey is questionable for today's game.
He's ruled out, actually.
Yeah, actually, he is ruled out because of a shoulder injury and ankle injury. And starting defensive end Emmanuel Ogbah will not play because of his ankle injury. So you will not see those two guys. And this came in yesterday. The Browns will release wide receiver Josh Gordon on Monday because Jordan has not been a reliable player for the team. The Browns have mentioned that Gordon has been suspended by the NFL multiple times because of his drug-related incidents, and he's went through rehab several times. And I found this, according to sources, as many as 5 teams besides the Ravens are interested in researching and possibly trading for Josh Gordon. Now, the big question is, do you think the Ravens should go after Josh Gordon?
The Ravens?
Yeah, because they've got a $6.2 million salary cap.
They might. And Josh Gordon, we've got to remember, is under contract the next
Yes,
year.
he is.
They might go after him, but if I'm the Browns, I'm holding out hope to get
exactly.
Another team involved.
Exactly.
I think the Browns are the right thing. You can't keep.
No, yeah, and I really think.
This guy. But, I mean, if I had my choice, I'd send him to a different conference.
Yes.
In the slim hope he gets everything together, and then you don't want to see him twice a year.
No, you really do. But, yeah, this is really And I want to know what you, the viewers, think of this. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you think the Ravens should go after Josh Gordon. Leave me a comment on my discussion page on my YouTube channel, or go to scottsports101@gmail.com. And I know before we continue here, and I know they've really got to find a way to win this game. But I mean, they're 8.5-point underdogs.
Yeah.
And that's a big point spread, and
It's a big point spread.
But
It's
a lot.
hard to win in New Orleans. But
Yes, it is.
I don't know if you had this written down. The Browns are all time, I think, 8-2 versus New Orleans. Lifetime.
Yes, I was just gonna say that.
Okay, they had some Tim Couch.
Yeah.
Hail Mary, and I think when Pettin was the coach, they had the
Yes.
punts, and they've had some success down
Yes,
there. But it'd be
they
hard,
have.
It'd be hard for me to believe that the Saints are going to go to 0-2.
True. And he needs Tyrod Taylor needs to run the pocket or really find a man that's open. And they really just have to. They need to step up the running game. I feel with this one.
Yeah, because you need to control the clock.
Yes,
Because
yes.
They're going to score.
Yes.
You got to get highs going. I am interested to see this offense.
I am too. I'm very interested to see this
without,
offense.
The pouring rain and poor field conditions. I'm anxious.
Yes.
And now that Gordon's gone, Callaway is going to start today.
Yes, he is going to. Antonio Callaway will. Yes.
You might see more of Damian Ratley.
And I think you will see Denzel Ward as well. I think you'll see him.
Oh yeah, well he's starting on defense.
Yes, and Myles Garrett will be in the game.
Garrett's a beast.
Yes, and the Browns, they really need to come out and dominate this game from the start, and they need to keep the pressure on Drew Brees. As I've said, keep the ball away from Drew Brees, because the Saints' defense and offense, and they need to really keep the pressure on the Saints' defense and offense, because if they can do that, and if they can dominate from the get-go, they are going to win this game. They have a chance.
Yeah, there's always a chance,
Yeah.
And who knows? I mean, you look at the New Orleans defense last week; they gave up 40 points.
They did. You're right.
So was that just a game they just
exactly
really prepare for? It took lightly, or I can't imagine the Saints defense is that bad.
Yeah.
But maybe they take a step back this year. I mean, I don't know.
Oh yeah. Yeah, you're right. We'll get back to this in just a sec, but I want to take. I know I'm getting off track, but I want to take just a moment and take this opportunity because I would to congratulate our Cleveland Indians on clinching and winning their third straight American League Central Division title by hammering the Detroit Tigers 15-0 yesterday afternoon at Progressive Field. Mike Clevenger was on the mound for the good guys yesterday. Clevenger went 6 innings and gave up 1 hit and struck out 5 batters. Then the bullpen was called to work in the 7th, 8th, and 9th innings, and they really finished the job and got the job done. The Tribe scored 6 in the first and 5 in the second, 2 in the third and 2 in the fourth. Michael Brantley followed Francisco Linder with a solo homer to right in the first inning, and it was quite a celebration yesterday at Progressive Field. And I gotta say, way to go, Tribe! And I gotta say, Cleveland, we will have an October to remember. And Trevor Bauer has come out of a bullpen in a few games, but I feel that he will be good to go for the postseason. I really feel he will because we are going to need him.
He had a bullpen session yesterday, right?
Yes, he did.
And I guess he came through that okay?
Yeah, I believe he did because I was watching it when I was at my bowling league yesterday, and yeah, he did. He really had a bullpen session. He came out and did pretty well. Well, we'll get back to talking NFL football in just a sec, but it's now time for the answer to today's Scott Sports 101 trivia question. Which Browns player was voted to the Pro Bowl every year that he played? And
Jameer Miller?
Well, you're close. Well, it's not. You're close, but if you said Jim Brown, you are correct.
Not close at all.
You weren't even close at all, Matt. Brown is the only player in NFL history to average 100 rushing yards per game for his career. Now I have another trivia question on my next broadcast, another NFL one on Scott Sports 101 Thursday Night Football pregame show, which will be this next Thursday, the Browns and the Jets.
Good one.
Yes, and it will be here at First Energy Stadium, and here at home, and
that's a must win.
Yes, that is you are definitely right about
Jackson,
that.
everyone over there, you gotta win
Yes.
at home. You gotta
And
win at home.
we'll look a little bit elsewhere in the NFL. First of all, I want to go back to Thursday night's game, which the Cincinnati Bengals beat the Baltimore Ravens 34-23. And this was one heck of a game. I have to tip my hat, and I said this before, I have to tip my hat and give my game ball to Bengals quarterback Andy Dalton. What an impressive night for him. And boy, was it impressive for him. But yeah, this was just one great game, Matt. And
I didn't see it,
but
unfortunately.
Baltimore tried to battle back, but they just could not. They looked good, but they struggled. But
the AFC North this year with Pittsburgh, Baltimore, Cincinnati, the Browns are going to be pretty competitive. I think it might go.
I think you're right. Yeah. All right. Elsewhere in the NFL, it's okay. Elsewhere in the NFL, the Carolina Panthers will take on the Atlanta Falcons in Atlanta. The Panthers held the Dallas Cowboys to just 8 points last week, while the Falcons just could not battle back on Thursday night in Week 1 against the Super Bowl champion Philadelphia Eagles. They did well, but they just could not battle back against a tough Philadelphia team. They just could not.
Philly's got a great defense.
And after coming back from being down 20-3 and beating the Chicago Bears 24-23, the Green Bay Packers will take on the Minnesota Vikings and try to seek a little revenge in Minnesota.
Yep.
Aaron Rodgers did practice yesterday along with having his knee injury, and he is questionable whether or not Rodgers will play or sit this game out. We'll have to wait and see on that one. But right now, I want to get to my NFL picks of the week. First of all, the Washington Redskins will take on the Indianapolis Colts today, and that's not a big spread, but they're playing
They're in Washington.
Yes.
I like Washington.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Washington on that one, and I'm going to say it's going to be pretty close, 27-24 on that one. With Atlanta, Carolina, I'm going with Atlanta on that one, only because they're playing in Atlanta, and they're tough at home.
Yeah, Carolina showed, Dallas's offense didn't look too good at all.
Yeah, and I'm going to say 16-13 on that. That's going to be a low-scoring one, I think.
All right.
Minnesota and Green Bay, I've already mentioned, and Minnesota's tough at home, and I got to go with Minnesota.
Me too.
And I'm going to say 24-21 on that one. Buffalo and the Chargers. I took Buffalo. I'm going with Buffalo only because it's in Buffalo, and Buffalo can get tough at home.
I might disagree there. I think LA.
Yeah, well, it could go either way.
Yeah.
I'm going to go. I'm going to go 26-17 on that one.
Okay.
Tennessee is playing Houston, although it is in. I think it's in Houston, I believe.
Mariota is not playing.
Yes, but
Gabbard is, so I like Houston.
Yeah, I'm going with Tennessee, but
Okay.
Because Tennessee's favored, but it's in Houston. But I'm gonna make it a close one,
Yep.
and I'm gonna say 20-19. I'm gonna say on that one. Pittsburgh and KC, and I do believe they are playing in Pittsburgh, I believe. And Pittsburgh's tough at home, so although we tied with them last week, I gotta go with Pittsburgh. And
I would go with Pittsburgh too.
so I'm gonna say 31-28 on that one by a field goal. The Jets are playing the Miami Dolphins today, but I do believe
In New York.
in New York, yes.
I think the Jets go to 2-0.
Yeah, I think they go to 2-0 as well. Not taking the Jets for that one. I'm going to go 27-24 for that one as well. Philadelphia and Tampa Bay, they are in Tampa Bay, but even though Tampa Bay beat New Orleans last week, and I know Tampa Bay can get tough at home, but Philadelphia, they are the reigning Super Bowl champs, and I got to go with Philly on this one. 34 to
I've got to take this call
20.
really fast.
Okay.
So you bring us home, okay?
Okay. The LA, as I've said before, the Cleveland Browns are playing the New Orleans Saints today. Although the Browns are 8-point underdogs, and the Saints are favored for this, a lot of people are saying the Saints are going to win this one, but I have picked the Browns to win this one, and I'm going to say by a touchdown, 28-24. The Rams and Arizona, and the Rams just really had a great game last Monday night, and Arizona just struggled last week. But I'm going to go with the Rams to win this one, and I'm going to say 30-13 on this one. The 49ers on